Hey everyone, it's Anthony from S2K and the Ant. So I'm continuing my S2000 build. I haven't made one of these videos in a long time. So I'm going to just do something small, which is going to lead to something bigger. Excuse my garage, it's a huge mess. This is a B16A from the Eggshell Civic, because the Eggshell Civic now has a B18C, so I got a B18A for free. B16A for free. I just need a car to put it in. And that's a AP2 rear subframe that needs to go in the car. And with that being said, this right here is a rear knuckle for a S2000. So as you can see, it's used. It's had a good life. There's spiderwebs growing on it because it's been in my garage for a long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to refurbish it by just changing out the wheel bearing in here, and maybe installing some extended studs that I think I ordered from Japan. They're not here yet, but I got to do that. So first step is we got to change the wheel bearing and get the hub off this thing. So I'm going to be using the Otc Hub Grappler. It's a tool that you can use to remove the hubs from things. I bought it off Amazon. Of course, the link will be below. And yeah, it's pretty nice, because before I used to use like a slide hammer, but this uses like you can use your impact on this, and it makes removing the hub a lot easier than taking the whole knuckle off and putting on your press if you have a press. So it's good if you want to do this like on your car. So I'm going to use this Hub Grappler to remove the hub. So as you can see, I have the Hub Grappler kind of set up here. I got the arms locked into here. I got this thing here. What I don't have with this kit, since I just bought just a grappler, is I don't have there's a special special size socket that you can use. It's actually smaller than this, that fits into the diameter of the hub, the end of the hub. I don't have that, so yeah, I kind of gotta wing it. So I have an old hub here that I can use. Actually, maybe I'll use the other side. Yeah, I'll use the other side. Like, see, this is the old hub I got from something else. And then, alright, so I got this bearing I turned around. I got this thing, it's from my wheel bearing adapter set that I bought off Amazon. Because I don't have anything that small. So let's see here. Let's get this hand tightened down. Make sure it's positioned correctly here. Alright, I think. Feels tight. And then this thing has like some set screws over here that this thing's like almost new, and I'm almost stripped it already, so that's my bad on my part. And it's kind of weird how they use Allen sort of shits this thing. Just gotta keep it tight. Alright, don't gotta go too crazy. Alright, so for the most part, that looks somewhat good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this works. I gotta bust out my impact, and then you know, gotta lube up these threads, bust out my impact, and let's see if this damn hub will come off. Alright, what are you? 32 mil. I think, yeah. Good old 32 mil. Alright, 32. What's up front here? Let's see, 26 is a little too big. Definitely not a 24. I don't have any 25s because that's a really weird size. Yeah, this is probably made for SAE sockets, and I only really work with metric since all I work is on Hondas and stuff. Jesus Christ. After some digging around my tool chest, this big ass nut here is a 32 mil. I'm pretty sure it's a little loose on the 32. I'm pretty sure this is SAE. I just have no SAE sockets that size. My SAE socket section is actually really small because, let's admit, I mean, I work on Hondas and like Toyotas and stuff. I don't use, and this is actually a 26, but yeah, 26 is a little loose, but yeah, I only work with like Hondas and Toyotas and stuff, so I don't really need any of that stuff. Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot right now. Well, that kind of worked, actually. That kind of worked. Now, the problem that I foresee that I think I'm having right now is that since that stupid, since that bearing is, oh yeah, there you go. So, if I go any further, I feel like I'm going to lodge this bearing race into this new bearing, which is what I don't want to do. But here you go, you see I pretty much almost have it out. I just got to find something big enough that can go in here and smaller than this hole right here. So let me find that, and I got this out. So pretty cool, Otc Hub Tamer. But other one, I did this on a press actually, and it was a pain in the ass because you have to like support this on the press, and my arbor plates aren't big enough. So, all right, cool. So see, my hub is like halfway out, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This hub is almost out. I just need to find something that has a hole big enough to put this through, and also smaller than the outside hole, and then I'll push that hub right out. I mean, I don't like to, but I totally could just like run this tool in, but it's just gonna be like, it's not good. I mean, it's gonna be like, I want something solid for it to push against, not just like, maybe if I have like a washer or something. Alright, so I dug through my toolkit and I did find some washers. It's not the best way to do this, but I'm going to stack some washers in this bad boy. I gotta be careful. I should really just take this off. Yeah, you should take this off before you do this, but I've gone too far already. So I gotta keep doing it. And now, make sure your threads are clean. Okay, I think this is gonna do it. So I got here you're gonna see my setup. I got 2 washers in this thing. And this thing's gonna push out those 2 washers. And then, oh god, I'm gonna break the sensor. I know I am. These sensors are really expensive too. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take off that damn sensor. It's only a 10 mil. Okay, sensor's off. I think people want like 60 bucks or 80 bucks for that sensor usually, so yeah, you don't want to destroy that. That's like your ABS sensor. So without that, you're gonna have like an ABS light. I know because one time when I was doing coilovers, I accidentally like, I don't know, ripped it somehow, and I had to find out where it broke, and then I had to solder it. Sucked. So, all right, man. Round 2. Oh, it was like nothing. It was pretty much out. Cool. So this already has proved itself. This tool has already made its worth be known. It was like 160, 180 bucks. Totally worth it. Like, the other way is if this is still in the car, you can use like a slide hammer, which it's good. I mean, it works. But man, that thing takes a toll on your body if you use it a lot. Like your back and your hand, and your arm, all those vibrations. It's kind of suck. I mean, it works if you don't work on your car that often. And then another way, since this is all off, you can use a press, which I said I've done before. Yeah, it's alright. I mean, with the press, it's hard to prop this thing up because this shield is in the way, and you'll probably bend the shield like crazy. This one didn't turn out that bad. Cool, I got the hub off. We still gotta remove the race. The race is stuck on here. The bearing race is stuck on here. I might actually have to use a press for that. So I'll do that in a bit. Next is remove these screws that hold the hoop, hold that shield. This is not my screwdriver. There you go. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Shit. Okay, got one. One. Come on, you can do it. Okay. So these are turning out to be a little more stubborn. I thought I'm gonna hit some penetrating oil. And then I got a special tool just to remove screws that are super stuck. Yeah, let's bust it out. So to get out these really tough screws, I'm gonna use this, it's called the bolt buster or something like that. I don't know, I bought it online. And basically you attach it to an air hammer, and with that you kind of like, it uses like an impacting motion of the air hammer to kind of like vibrate the bolt, or the nut, or not the nut, the screw. And then you can twist it at the same time, so it's like jackhammering it, and you're twisting it at the same time. It usually makes quick work of these screws. There you go. And that being said, I should be able to remove this heat shield. Okay, shield is out. Now we're left with just the bearing. So now I just got to remove the snap ring and take it from there. Alright, so now I got to remove the snap ring before I can take out the bearing. I have a few tools for this. I have a snap ring pliers. I don't like using these because these kind of suck. These Craftsman snap ring pliers, they're really weak. It's kind of working though. Come on. Alright, let's try. Alright, screw those snap ring pliers. Let's try this, my right angle needle nose. Okay, that's better. I like this. So let's just apply some downward pressure. Fuck. God damn it. Come on. So I have another set of snapping pliers also. Yeah, I don't like these ones either because they're like two-piece and I feel like they're just way too weak for this stuff. But let's see. Oh yeah, this thing sucks. Okay, this one might be the best bet. Okay, oh, okay, there it is. That's... Son of a... Let's try this now. These Knipex, whatever, right angle, and then up. Try this thing up. Okay, well that works. That took a bit longer than I wanted to. Usually if these things are like weak enough, you can just use like this, or not just this, you can use something like this or this to remove it. These work better than this Chamberlain thing because these like tips are interchangeable and I feel like that's a really weak point for these stupid things. This is slightly better, still kind of sucks. I wish I can buy the Knipex version of it because this company Knipex is like super quality. I have a lot of their tools. I'm not specifically like their pliers. They're really known for the pliers. They're better than like everything else I've worked with, like Snap-on and stuff. It's way better than that. So cool. We finally got that damn snap ring off. That wasn't too bad. I mean, it sucks. That took so many tries, but whatever. Alright, next, get this wheel bearing removed. Let's continue to remove this damn thing. So, doing the whole cup thing was actually a massive fail. It didn't really work out for me, which is no good. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to just use my press to press it out. I think it didn't work because this nut wasn't. I was just trying to support it with my hand, and I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to overcome the torque of the impact gun. So I'll just use my press since this is already out of the car. But I have used this before with like my old Subaru and it worked fine. So I still recommend buying it. So we're here at my trusty Harbor Freight press, and I have the knuckle all set up here. You can see it's set up like this. I don't know if this doesn't look that safe. I'll probably readjust it a little bit. And then I put the this thing I got from this Harbor Freight toolkit that I tried earlier. I took this thing out since it fits perfectly right there where the bearing goes. And then yeah, I'm going to try to press this thing out. I always hate using the press since it just always feels so sketchy. I'm just afraid this thing's going to like explode and like kill me. So if it does, we got it on tape. Alright, let's give this a shot. Alright, so I got it all set up. It's a little crooked. I don't like that, but I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. So I have it supported by these two tabs. I have it supported there with the arbor plates that came from Harbor Freight. Now, let's see here. Alright, let's see here. So it looks solid. I really hate these things. I feel like they're gonna just fall off and like take out my feet. Oh, there we go. Just a little bit more. Or is that? There you go. There it is. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so got the old bearing out. Just here. Doesn't look terrible. I mean, I just replaced it because it's a used part. This is actually still pretty stiff. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is just clean this out with some brake cleaner and then press in the new bearing. We're gonna prepare this for the wheel bearing. I'm gonna just hit it with some brake cleaner. Give it a good clean. Also make sure the surface that where the snap ring lives is also clean. So it'll save you some headaches later on. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Alright, so our surface should now be good and ready to accept a new bearing. I'm going to remove the bearing race from the hub, and typically I like to use a large bearing separator and then use a press, kind of like what I did here with this other bearing race on this thing. But this is actually from another car, and this bearing actually has a groove built in to this bearing race. But unfortunately, the S2000 bearing race doesn't have a groove like that. I mean, there's just like this little slight one. So what you got to do is actually you got to grind a line and kind of create your own groove so that this bearing race can, this bearing separator can catch onto it, and then you'll be able to remove it. So I'm going to use a Dremel just with a cutting bit and cut a groove into this thing so that this large bearing separator can grab onto it. Check out that groove I made there. Alright, so from the last clip you saw, I cut the bearing race with the Dremel, and then I attached the large bearing separator on it, and now it's currently on my press. I have it supported by the arbor plates that came with the press. This is just like a run-of-the-mill Harbor Freight press. And then I found, I guess it must have been the old bearing race or one of the bearing races I have that kind of fit. And then I'm gonna attach, kind of make this up. This is like a pulley I have, and then that is a 30 mil socket. So that looks like it'll work. Let's find out. Okay, so here we go. So that was a fail. Oh god, oh god. Looks like the bearing separator didn't bite it enough, so I'm going to re-Dremel that. So I cut the grooves a little bit deeper this time, and let's give this a shot again. Alright, well that didn't. Trying something different. I clamped this super tight towards the bottom there. I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not using the bearing race under here, so I just have the idler puller. I just have the pulley on top of the hub completely, since it has a lip in it, so hopefully that will keep it in place. Give it a shot. Jesus Christ. Oh, it worked. Look at that. It's halfway out. Now all I gotta do is use something smaller than the hub to get it out. Amazing. Oh, it's perfect diameter. Alright. That's it. Finally out. You can see the layers of rust on that crap. This Knuckle is not from California, so you guys on the East Coast and stuff, you see that just layer of rust on the bottom here. So I'm gonna give this a good clean with some brake cleaner, and then that's the hub. Clean this up with some brake cleaner. You can see like all the corrosion down here that was keeping everything stuck together. Yeah, another way is that people usually go about this is they just straight up cut the race and then like hit it with a chisel. I don't like doing that because then you can really scratch up this surface right here. Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner, but yeah, that sucked. That was not fun for this. Yeah, it's definitely no good. Alright, so next things next, we're going to press in the new wheel bearing into the knuckle. And, oh yeah, so the reason why it worked last time is because I took that bearing separator and I really torqued it down. Like, I really went crazy on it with this and a socket wrench to just really go to town on it. Like I just torqued it down as much as I could, and then yeah, it just needed that grip. I didn't torque it down that hard when I did the first few times, so that's probably what it was. But yeah, it's pretty insane the amount of force that needs to be exerted on this just to get this out. So with the bearing race out, I'm going to go ahead and actually proceed and press out the wheel studs. And how I'm going to do that is use a like a lower ball joint press. It's a ball joint press. You can buy them from Amazon, Harbor Freight, or whatever. This is like a pretty standard one where it's just like looks like a big C-clamp sort of. And basically how I like to do it is I just have it so the stud is positioned in the clamp kind of like, let's give it a second here, kind of like so, where there's some room for it to leave here. Yep. And then to make things super easy, use an impact. Cool. And then you watch the stud leave. And just like that, the wheel stud is out. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do it all. Do this for all 5 S2000s out 5 wheel studs, and then press in my new ones. Alright, so I'm back with my hub. I removed all the wheel studs. This is the standard stock S2000 wheel stud, and this is the replacement. It's actually a JDM company called Juron. I got this from Japan, and I actually sell them on my store if you guys are interested. So anyways, so they're slightly longer, not too much longer, but slightly longer, and it comes with like this tipped head. And the cool thing with the tipped head is that it just helps you not strip your wheel studs, because it's, I don't know, because when you put a nut on it, doesn't have to sit perfectly. You'll just pop it on here and then screw it in there. So that's cool. And yeah, basically I'm going to go ahead and do the reverse of how I got the wheel stud out onto the hub. So pretty much there's several ways to do this. You could use a press. You could also use like a hammer, like just straight up like hammer the rear of the stud. And then you could also use this ball joint press, which I did earlier, and is actually, to me, the easiest way to do things, because it doesn't require you to set up your press and like set everything up. So here, it makes this super easy since okay, let's position this to make sure it's nice and square on that wheel stud. And now you could use like a wrench, or I'm just going to use the impact, this guy, and I'll just drive it in like that. And with that being said, it's in. Just loosen this guy. Look at that. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it all for the rest of the studs, or yeah, for the rest of the studs here. So 4 more to go. These come in packs of 4, so you gotta buy 5 of them if you can. If you can figure it out. And then yeah, hopefully this works out. Looks pretty cool and it's pretty functional. Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and press the rest of these in. Wheel studs are now installed, so you can see how it looks right here. Pretty sweet. Yeah, it takes no time when you use one of these guys, because when you use a press or something, typically, let's see here. Typically you have it set up on your press with like a socket over this, and then you have the pressing down on this. I just don't like that, because I feel like there's like too much force, and especially if you're having it supported like this, I feel like they could possibly just warp the hub. Well, this way, using a lower ball joint tool, or I guess it's just a ball joint tool, with something like this, it's just a lot less pressures acting upon this hub. So yeah, no, it looks pretty good, and hopefully it'll be really functional. It's not that much longer than a standard stud. I'll show you. So you got a standard S2000 stud right here. There we go. And then you have the extended stud. So that's the difference. Actually, it looks a lot different, right? But it's really not that drastic, because I mean, you're talking about like this much, like from here to here. Like how much is a lug nut kind of thread onto that? So you can run like just like a pretty conservative spacer with that. Like you can't run anything crazy. But I just like it. It's a lot harder than the normal stock stud. So in addition to it being harder, and it's harder to strip the threads because of the pointed tip, that's why I just like this specific stud in general. So next step on this is I'm going to press this guy into the knuckle bearing assembly. Okay, so next up I'm going to install the wheel bearing back into this knuckle assembly. I'm going to set up my light here. Anyways, so I'm using a NSK bearing. This guy. Basically, Honda sells the same bearing by NSK. They just put their name on it. I believe so, because I know the OEM Honda bearing is NSK, but this, if you buy just the normal NSK bearing like this, it's like a fraction of the price, like maybe a third of the price, which is cool. So I got my knuckle here. It's supported on this like cylinder tube thing I got. I don't know where I got it, but it's supported there pretty well. And then I put some lube in there, just to make this a little bit easier. And then of course I cleaned that up before I did that. And then what I'm going to do is get the bearing in here. Make sure the metal side here is facing the rear, and this black seal side right here is facing the front, like so. I'm just moving my light here. Okay. And then I'm also using this thing from my wheel bearing adapter kit I was talking about earlier. If not, I'll just link it in the description below. I believe I bought it from either Amazon or Harbor Freight, but it's for doing like your wheel bearings off the car. But I typically use like these pieces that came with it to for this press because they fit perfectly in like these wheel bearings like that. So that looks good. Position it, and then I'm gonna find a socket. Like maybe like something like this bad boy. It's all something shorter. This bad boy right here. To push it in. That. Or maybe let's see here. Oh, this is perfect. This actually comes with the kit, the wheel bearing kit, and I don't have to mess up a like $30 socket, so that's pretty rad. All right, and let's make sure everything is nice and even, so everything is squared away. There we go. Going in pretty nicely since I gave it some lube. Okay. So feels like it's pretty in there. And then, with that being said, there it is. So this thing doesn't actually go all the way down. I know that because I've had this side by side with a, I mean it goes down, but you still see a small gap here, but you see here is the lip that this catches onto. So don't worry about that. So basically now all we need to do is put the snap ring in and press in the hub. Okay, so I got my cup thing here again, which this fits perfectly around the center of it. I believe that cup thing is actually like an OEM Honda part. Here is the snap ring fully seated and installed. And the knuckle, it's actually way easier going in than going out for whatever. So make sure that's installed. Make sure the seal side's sticking out, and then assembly is kind of reverse, and then just find a fitting that fits in there. Perfect. It's in there perfectly. Make sure it's nice and even. Okay. Let's crank this guy down. Okay. Feels like we have bottomed out. There we go. It's all installed. Okay, I lied. There was a little bit more to go, but now it's fully seated. As you can see, just a few more pumps and it was there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the other side, and that should be it. Alright, so as you can see here, everything is back together. Small side note is that I did not reinstall the dust shields. You should do that before you put the hub in. I didn't do that because I just don't want to use them. No point, because race car. And that it doesn't get that dusty around here. Oh, it does really, but it's not that bad. But yeah, usually I don't like running them any typically. So yeah, this is a complete product, and yeah, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. S2KintheAnt.com. Follow me on Instagram, also S2KintheAnt. And if you want to buy these rad lug nuts or lug bolts, they're called lug bolts, but they're actually studs in American or English American. Japanese call them stud bolts or hub bolts or whatever. So yeah, let me know. I sell them on my store. Store is in the link below. And any of the tools that I use, if you have questions, I'll probably link it below, or just ask me what I use and I'll let you know. So that's it. Eventually I need to get this installed onto that car that's behind all that bubble wrap, but that's a story for another time. So that's to King the Ant, and I'll see you later. Peace.